Hey, everybody. I'm so happy you guys joined me after conference. Even if we all have bags under our eyes and like I have a broken nail from trying to pull up my Spanx at conference. um, I know I'm pretty tired and slightly overwhelmed. And I'm sure some of you guys are too, but it was freaking amazing. Am I right? Am I right? So good, so amazing. Seriously life-changing, and it went by way too fast. I was like, how is that over? How is that over? But it was so incredible. Like I was telling my husband, I'm like, can you even tell? I have like a man voice right now because I danced so hard. I yelled loud. I had so much fun that I like basically lost my voice. And it was so cool to meet so many of you guys in person for the first time. So many of my downline and even some of my personally sponsored girls that I'd never ever met in person yet. It was just so cool. And I was telling my husband how Color Street really like upped their game and just how professional they were with everything. I was just telling him, I'm like, I'm just so confident in Color Street because they are so good at growing. Like this company has exploded in only it's been only 2 years. Yeah, it's only been 2 years. I mean, they had their very first conference in July 2 years ago, and this company has freaking exploded, and they just grow so well with all of it, and and it just has such a good vibe and like a good community. Like I just felt like there's so many really nice humans in Color Street. And Mr. Park, yes, Charisma just said, Mr. Park is so generous and gracious. Yeah, and I was telling my husband, I'm like, Mr. Park is like the best. He's just like a good human, and that makes me feel really confident in the company. So people are saying, I loved how inclusive it all was. I need one more day. Maren wants to know the name of my lipstick. I'm going to do a Try It Tuesday after this with this lipstick, so you can watch that. Yes, great humans of society, Sam. I agree. So I just thought it would be really cool to have like a team gathering of info, because I don't know about you, but like sometimes during the trainings, my brain was a little bit fried, especially those nights we stayed up till like 2 a.m. And then woke up at 7 a.m. So you guys, I would love to hear some of your takeaways. I'm going to share probably my biggest takeaway. And then I'd love to hear some of yours and just make this more of a conversation, because I think we all the thing I love about this is that we all had different takeaways, and it's just fun to learn some of your nuggets of wisdom that really impacted you. And that way we can just all learn from each other and take those pieces that we learned from conference and actually put them into action. Because like they said at conference, like if we're going to spend all this money and time going to conference, it's super important. Also, my lipstick's like a little crazy. Anyway, it's super important that we actually take action, right? Because what's the point? If you come home and you're just like, yay, that was so fun, and then you don't do anything differently, what's the point? So I really am trying to be very intentional with my takeaways and how they change my business, how they change my everyday actions, because that is the most important part, is actually implementing even just one new thing into your Color Street business and into your daily like routines. So for me, I think one of my biggest takeaways, you guys, was just, and I just recently posted about this today, but was just, I loved the keynote speaker, Kinder Hall. She talked about sharing our stories, and it's just so crazy the impact that our stories can have. And yet I know so many of us feel like we don't have a story, or we feel like our story's not significant enough. And I feel like everybody has a story. And if we can be brave enough to share it, and also just to really sit down and realize that we have small stories, we have simple stories, and we probably have big stories. And then just sharing those stories, because those stories are what people truly connect to. And Abigail just commented and said, I found my story at conference and told it the day after and got a recruit because of it. That's so awesome. So that was just, to me, that was really, hearing Kendra Hall say that, and then having a lot of women and some of you in my downline come up to me and say that my story inspired them, or helped them, or made them feel less alone. Even sometimes sharing your story, I think, if nothing else, it makes other people feel like they're not alone. Even if, it's just being vulnerable and saying, like I did a post a couple days ago about how I hadn't even unpacked and my whole floor is like an explosion. Just some of those like everyday life posts can make other people feel like, okay, it's okay that I am a hot mess and I haven't unpacked from conference either. So, sharing those like just vulnerable things that are sometimes scary, and those big things and those small things, about ourselves, about our journey, about our struggles, about our everyday life. Those are the things that people connect to. And I really believe that this business is all about relationships. And you guys, the thing I love about this business is that it's so much more than just nail polish. Like, we are creating relationships that are going to last beyond Color Street. And that is life-changing. Literally, like so many of you, I'm going to stay connected with beyond Color Street. And so to me, it has like it's very meaningful and very impactful to think that it's not just like, I'm not just selling nail polish, and I'm not just like, trying to train my team to sell nails. We are changing lives. We are changing lives, and your story can change lives. So that was my biggest takeaway, and just really trying to think about different stories in my life from either the past or even just the everyday moments, and sharing more of those, whether it's written out or whether we share it in our Instagram stories. Just, again, it was so funny because the people that came up to me and were like, hey, I really related with you on this or that. Often it was the times when I was vulnerable and I had like cried on social media. I mean, not like in pictures or whatever, or I had shared something that was hard for me. It's those vulnerable posts that people really connect to, or the times where I'm like sharing the hot mess behind the scenes. So that just really made me want to do more of that. And I hope it helps. It really made you guys want to do the same. Just share more of who you are, because the more vulnerable you get, the more people connect to you. And that's the most scary thing, but that's the thing that it's just interesting how the more you're yourself, the more people like you. But that's the scary part. We're like, I don't want to be myself. Like, I'm not going to lie, you guys. I did a post the day before conference about how I had booked a flight to the wrong airport. And I was so scared to post that because I was like, oh my gosh, everyone's going to think I'm such a flake. They're all going to be judging me. But I was like, well, I'll just make someone else feel better about their life because I'm a hot mess. And I obviously made a huge mistake by booking my flight to Fort Lauderdale instead of Orlando. I seriously debated on posting that for like a day. And then I posted it, and so many people commented and said, oh my gosh, I've done something similar. And it was so nice because it actually made me feel less alone. I was like, okay, I'm not the only one that makes these dumb mistakes and has a mom brain. So anyway, that was my biggest takeaway. So does somebody want to share one of their big takeaways? We're just going to take turns and chit chat. And I'd love to hear, let's just keep them to like 3 minutes if possible. So we have lots of turns, lots of people sharing their nuggets. But anyone want to go first? Who's going to be brave? Who's going to 5, 4, 3, 2, 1? You guys know what I'm talking about? Brendan knows what I'm talking about. She just read the 5-second rule. Unmute yourself if you're going to be brave.
I guess I could.
Okay, let's hear it. I can't tell who that is.
It's Marin.
Hi, Marin.
Hi. I guess the biggest takeaway for me is that this business is very, let me say this right, duplicatable. So there's nothing that Kelly's doing that we can't do too. Like she does her Thankful Thursday post. She does her, she's vulnerable. She's all this, but there's nothing that she does that's out of my reach. It's just in the scheduling the time for it and office hours and all that. Like you just have to get, let me speak for myself. I just have to get more organized and actually do it. Like it's hard with screaming 2-year-old and full-time job, but
Yeah.
it's nothing that's out of my grasp really, and I think that that's really important to remember.
I love that so much. That's like such a good nugget because it really is like anyone can do this. It's just a matter of, are you willing to put in the time and the effort? And I know it's so tricky with different situations, but yeah, thanks for sharing that, Marin.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Oh, I'll do it.
Oh, thanks, Becky.
I'll try not to have a panic attack while I'm being brave. I learned to be intentional with your time. Because I find myself like on Facebook, I'll get on there for something and then here I am like 30 minutes later just scrolling through something. So they kind of taught us in Jess Shelburn's class to write down what you have to do that day, make like a priorities list and check it off. And if you don't get it done, do it the next day. Or like write down what you're going to do for your team that day so that when you get on social media, you have a plan so that you don't get distracted and spend, 30 minutes wasting time when you could be doing income producing activities.
Yes. Amen. I loved Jess's training too. I was in that too. And I loved that she talked about the list as well. She called it your first four. First four.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that phrase. I think that's a really good reminder. She said that she does her first 4 every day before she like responds to anyone else. Cause I think it's super easy to get sucked in to responding to everybody else. Right. And then suddenly the day's over and you're like, what the heck have I done? I've done nothing that I wanted to do. So she kind of ignores all the messages, all the, any things that people are asking her, and she focuses on those first 4. And do you remember what they were, Becky?
Post in her VIP group, something for her team, her personal page, and check her messages.
Boom, right there, first 4.
I liked how she set a timer, like a limit on her phone for Facebook. Like I never thought to do that for yourself. I do it for my kids, but yeah, like a 4-hour limit or something for social media. So I was like, that's awesome.
Yeah, you can totally do that. And I actually trained about that a while back. Like you can, I believe it's in your settings on Facebook. Like you can go to your settings and click, and you can do it on Instagram too.
Yeah.
And you can choose, I gotta remember if anyone figures it out, because it's been a while.
If you have an iPhone, there's parental controls on there.
Uh-huh.
You can just set it like that for yourself.
Oh yeah, so you could do it on your iPhone or you can do it within Facebook settings, but either way, it's kind of like a timer that Facebook's like, hey, you've been on for an hour. Like, what are you doing? Becky, focus.
Exactly.
Same with Instagram. You've been on for an hour.
That's right.
And so, yeah, I think that's super smart. And then also, people are saying, can we say the first 4, please? So it was VIP group, post in your team page, post on your personal wall, and then it was message 5 people.
5 people.
Yeah. I thought that was genius. And I so agree with that, Becky. It's so funny because when I got back from conference, I was so tired that I wasn't really doing my normal routine. And my normal routine is kind of similar to what Jess said, but I do it like on a Post-it note. Like I kind of write only about 4 to 5 things on like a 2x2 Post-it note. And if I don't use my Post-it note, Becky, I am like, la, la, la. I'm like, I don't have anything to do. I'm like, everything's great. It's fine. And then I'm like, wait, no, I have lots to do. But you just like, it's hard to stay focused. So what was that little board you had? Turn your screen again.
I just made this because I got it out of somebody's training. I can't remember whose training I was in, where they took like their, they had a sample and they wrote the person's name on it and when to follow up. And then they moved it over to if they were a customer, and then moved it over to, I think it was like a stylist or something. And they just like moved it over with follow-up dates. So I was like, that's genius. That's visual. So I mean, right now I have my parties on here, which parties and what I've done in the party. And who's in the behind the biz thing for tomorrow. So
nice. So it's just a little cork board.
They used a whiteboard, but this is what I had, so I just used that.
Work with what you got. I love it.
That's right.
Nice. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Sure.
And the first 4. Yeah, I really think even just implementing the first 4, like literally if you did nothing else from conference, I think that could really have a huge impact on your business. Anyone else want to share a takeaway? Thank you, Becky.
Sure.
I'll go.
Okay, let's hear it, girl.
I was in a couple different trainings. One of them was Lindsay Prococo's training, and she was talking about VIP groups and strategies. And one thing that stuck out with me was she said your VIP group should be about you. And that's something I struggle with, but like just being real and having it be about you and your connection with women instead of just always nails. So that was huge to me.
I feel like the girls who do that really well crush this business.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
honestly,
she does amazing.
That's like something that I kind of struggle with.
Me too. I do
Sometimes
too.
I get in like all business mode, like, oh, I gotta do the business, you know? And then I'm like, oh wait, I can have a little fun too, or I can share a little bit about my life too in my VIP group. So I think, that's something I gotta work on too.
Yeah, I always feel like my life is so boring. Like nobody wants to know what happens in my life, but that is wrong.
They do, girl.
Thanks.
No, it's true. Like I think people are naturally curious about other people, and so they, like how you like to go to like the mall or like when you're at a sports game. I usually end up people watching when I'm at a sports game. I don't actually watch the sports. I'm just like, oh, what are these people doing? Oh, these guys are like fighting over here, or what? You know what I mean? And it's like people are naturally curious about people, and there are people who look at you as inspiration or a celebrity. Like there is, and you may not believe that, but there seriously are people that look up to you and, and just want to know what you're up to, want to know what your opinions are and things like that. And the more you share it, the more they're connected with you and the more they want to know even more. So
yeah, that's true. Yep.
So yeah, I think that's a great takeaway, and that's something I got to work on. And I think it would be easier to do if I just sat down. The times that I've done really well in my VIP group is when I just sit down and like schedule it all out for the week. Otherwise, it's kind of hard to like remember every day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do that too. I write it all down what I've posted.
Yeah. Victoria said, I've been sharing my jeans shopping saga, and it's been a huge hit. I love that. Like, women just want to connect, and we connect in the most random ways, like shopping for jeans, right? Because that's a fiasco. So yeah, that's awesome, Victoria. Anyone else want to share? Thank you, Rachel.
I'll go.
Hi, is it Sam?
Sam. Yes.
Okay, hi, Sam.
So I've never been in direct sales before or gone to a conference involving direct sales. I've gone to conferences for volleyball and stuff, but never a conference such as this. So I think my biggest takeaway, besides all the learning and meeting new friends and whatnot, I think the biggest takeaway was to like reignite my passion, like get me kickstarted again, because I feel like after the summer kind of ended, I was like in this little slump, if you will.
Yeah.
And after going to a conference, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm ready. Let's get down. Let's get everything scheduled. Like, I think that's what I needed more than anything. And when I came back, I was ready to work. So that's my biggest takeaway from the whole conference.
Yeah, there's definitely like so much synergy there, you know, and you're just like, like you just get so all fired up and motivated, and you see all these like amazing women. And we heard so many stories. Like, I got chills, I cried. I'm sure many of you guys cried hearing different testimonials from people in the company who have overcome so much. And those stories are really motivating too. So yeah, it was just really motivating to be like, all right, it's time to step it up a notch. It's time to kick it in gear. No more excuses. I agree, Sam. Okay. Charisma says, I feel that way too. Summer's been tough all around, and conference was definitely a motivating boost.
Yes.
Amen, girl.
Hey.
Sorry, what?
Hi.
Hi, Lacey. Okay, let's hear yours. Your takeaway, guys. Lacey just joined me like a couple months ago. She's been killing it, and she showed up at conference. So tell us how your experience was.
So I don't know where to start, but I've never done direct sales. I know I can sell things well when I'm in person because I can talk anybody into anything. That's just how I've been my whole life. But so I've never had a Facebook party. I've never done anything online. And so just learning the tips and tricks that everybody has talked about, they seem like real strategies that I could potentially actually do, having no social media following, having no social media even awareness or how to. So that was really exciting. But more than that for me was, I think, because my struggle in general so far, I don't have a girl network at all. I have like 2 friends, and they're in other countries, and we can't sell to other countries. Were the are you there? I've got a weird.
I just had to mute someone. Go ahead.
Okay. Because I don't have a girl network, I was actually really hesitant to go to a conference to share a room with 2 strangers that I didn't know. And I don't take this the wrong way, anyone. I've never liked girls because I've just been a tomboy. I've never fit in with girls. And like hearing the testimonials literally put me in tears so many times I don't even care to admit. But what was amazing is some of the girls that like walked up on stage to share their testimonial, I was like, what can she be going through? Like, she's beautiful, she's skinny, she's perfect. Like, she's got it all. She's one of these top dog, director, executive, ruby, diamond, whatever. And then the story was incredibly parallel to mine, to the point where it was almost haunting to me. And like, I had like God moments, and it was like, I felt that moment of bravery and I haven't figured out how to share, and I didn't like come back the next day and share my story, but it's put me in a position to where I now feel confident that I can share my story, and it's a crappy one. And so it was liberating, just feeling that being able to tell that is going to help someone, like their stories helped me, and not just in business, but in life. And I think this business is so innovative, and not just that it changes our lives financially, but I have girls that I want to see. And I'm like, I sobbed when I left because everybody's so far away. And that was cool to have a transformative look on women and girls in general, and to build this group of friends. Like when I didn't know where to go, I could just text one of the 27,000 groups that were in chat rooms, and somebody like jumped in and like saved me. And that was amazing. And so I feel like it was more of a internal self-awareness for me that is going to propel not just my business, but my life. So that was cool.
Yeah, because I think I know what story you're talking about. And that was so cool that she said, like, you know, again, it's more than just nail polish. It's like because she shared her story, her network, she said so many women reached out to her because of her struggles and said, like, thank you, because now I know I'm not alone, you know? And like that can have so much impact. And so I think it's so important to share our stories, just to help other women know they're not alone, you know, and that they have like someone to talk to that maybe has been there, done that. So, yeah, I loved all those like testimonials. They were amazing. And it was so fun to hang out with you, Lacey. And dance. We danced hard at the dance party.
We ugly danced.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. So anyone else want to share their story or their takeaways? Thanks, Lacey.
Kelly, I will share.
Yes, please, girl.
Okay, so this is my biggest takeaway. When you walk around the conference and when you are in the team page, team nailed it, let's just say from the top down, there are so many resources that are provided to us that there are girls around us that don't have. So if you are feeling slump in your business, thank the dear, sweet Kelly France for all of her organization, for everything that she posts, for everything that she has been basically a trailblazer for us. Use the search bar and go figure out what you need. Someone literally says, if you have a problem in your business, you need to look in the mirror. And I was just so thankful to know, like, wherever I was falling short, I know I can go to my team page and find it, because there was women around me who I would be talking and they were looking at me like I was like speaking a foreign language. Like they had no clue, like just some of like Facebook parties, how to invite people to Facebook parties. And I love sharing my knowledge, but I just couldn't believe how blessed we are to be on Team Nailed It and just everything that we have. And so I just want to thank you, Kelly.
Aww.
You are amazing.
Thank you, Emily.
Because it really shows, like when you are in a large group of Color Street stylists, it really shows just, you know, everything that we're given and everything that we can use. And it's so simple and like it just comes like natural to us. And there's women around us that it doesn't come natural to. So if you're stuck in your business or if you can't figure out where to go, you can always, always, always go to a team page and find the resources that you're looking for. And I'm just so thankful for that.
Thank you, Emily. And I love that part where that girl said, look in the mirror, because it's
look
like,
in the mirror.
It's like a gut punch, you know, where you're like, yeah, all right. There's things I need to, you know, improve. And so thanks for sharing that. Anyone else?
I will, Kelly. I'll go.
Hi, Kim.
Hello. All right, so I'm going to agree with what several of the ladies have said, but I want to definitely agree with what Emily just said, because it was amazing how many ladies that I ran into that had no idea on some of the things that we just take for granted, because we have access to so much great leadership, so much training in the group. And some of these ladies, like I have ladies that have hit me up on Facebook that I met that live, you know, states far, far away from Georgia. And they're like, hey, can you give me some pointers on how to do vendor events? And just not even realizing to have like a lead sheet, something as simple as a lead sheet to capture information from people who visit your booth at a vendor event. So I mean, yeah, we have some very wonderful training. So thank you for all your time that you put into that. And then I also, being intentional, but then also stepping outside of that comfort zone, pushing yourself to get to that uncomfortable spot and move past it by doing what's uncomfortable so that we can grow our businesses. And that's something that I struggle with, but I got to do it. So
yeah, totally. I was thinking about my goals for 2020 conference, which I hope you guys are starting, like make a list. Seriously, I was telling my husband some of my goals and some of them are crazy. Some of them are crazy big. And I was like, it might not happen, but a girl can dream, right? Like, but just putting it out there, like, all right, if the world was a perfect place, what would happen? Like, what would your life look like in 1 year at the 2020 conference? What ribbons would you be wearing? Would you be speaking? Would you be walking the stage for, I mean, what rank would you walk the stage for? How many team members would be there with you? What income goals would you have met by then? Just really writing it down so that you can look at it in a year and say, hey, what did I do and what didn't I do? And that you have like something to work for in this next year, you know? I just loved, they talked a lot about that, kind of visualizing what 2020 conference, you know, where your life will, what it will look like in a year from the next conference. And are you going to go to the conference? Some of you guys are commenting saying, I wish I could have gone. And so maybe saving up the money to go to conference next year, because they did announce the conference. I'm trying to remember the dates. I've got it in my calendar. Who knows it off their head?
July, I think.
The 12th, Vegas.
there you go.
What was it?
July 10th through the 12th in Vegas.
There you go. July 10th through the 12th in Vegas, baby. And it's at a new hotel. It's going to be epic, and I cannot wait. And guys, there were 4,000 people there. It's going to be even bigger next year. And Mo says, I already got money in the jar with the savings chart posted on my wall up on my desk. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. That's how it's done. So coming to conference is a game changer for your business. Like some of these girls are saying, it just gives you like that fire that, you know, can help push you to the next level. So yeah. So be thinking about that. Honestly, like if I were you, I would write down your goals. Just 5 things that you want to be, you want to happen by 2020 conference of next year. What else? Hey, you guys, before we continue, let's take a selfie together because you guys are awesome and I feel like we should post this on social media. So here we go. Smile for me. 1, 2, 3. Okay, cool. Oh wait, there's 3 pages. Hang on. Let's get the rest of you. There we go. All right, the last page is all phone. Well, we'll still get you. We'll still get you, but you don't have to smile. All right. So,
Question.
anyone else?
I have a question.
What's that?
How come they didn't have a swag store for us to buy stuff at conference?
I honestly don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I think hopefully they'll have one next year, but I'm wondering if they had so many other things they were working on that the swag store was just not quite there yet, because they launched so many. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I was so impressed at how many things they launched at conference. I was like, dang, they've been hustling.
I bet they did it last year too, because it was a brand new thing. Like it was just coming out so they did it last year because that was the new thing, you know, so that's why they probably didn't even have anywhere to put it.
They'd have to ship it all to conference.
Yeah.
A ton of work to drag and unpack and repack. And like I said, they launched they've got the new Color Street app that is coming out that sounds amazing with all the trainings and the like FAQs, and I can't even remember all the things, but it looked amazing. And then, you know, the launch of the Halloween nails and then the upcoming fall nails that look magical. And I can't even remember what else did they announce?
I have a question on the fall lunch.
What's that?
can we, because like I took pictures of the slideshows because I was so excited. I took pictures of everything. Can we in our VIP group say, hey, these are what's coming up here September 10th? Can we do any like pre-talk, pre-order, that kind of stuff for fall lunch, or no, because it's not out?
I think you can, but you might want to like focus on the Halloween before you're like, hey, because then sometimes people are like, oh, I'll just wait till fall.
Right.
So it's kind of up to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait to do it till like the 1st of September.
Yeah, that's what I would do.
It won't stall out your August sales.
Right. Because we got to get those double Cancun points. Who else is 100% going to be at Cancun? Because that's me. I'm very driven by fun. I'm like, oh, I'm going to be there. Emily says, I'm going, in all caps. Yes, girl, me too. That's happening. So we got to get those double points. Any other takeaways that you guys learned and loved? Shelby, were you raising your hand? No, she's like, no.
I have something else that I'll contribute to.
Okay.
I took the How to Enroll Future Leaders class, and I liked that because I felt like that kind of mirrored when I was looking into Color Street, and I actually interviewed people to find out whose team I wanted to be on. And that's how I found you on YouTube. And then we had our conversation. But I had been speaking with a couple of ladies, but in How to Enroll Future Leaders, it does talk about how to share the opportunity as a business. And that it's important to be a little selective in finding stylists to sign, because you really want to get a group of leaders, not just a stylist under you. And then you wind up, having somebody that never BQs and drops off and stuff like that. So I thought that was interesting. And treating it like a real business and not a hobby. If you're in it, as that for a real business, and then be selective with the ladies that you sign under you. And then to stop saying that it's easy. It says, stop saying it's easy. Don't go into the whole, there's no monthly requirements, and, telling the ladies just do it for fun and stuff like that. But you want to share the dream. You want to start sharing the potential of the opportunity, and you want to be selective with who you give your time to, and make it so that it's realistic for your potential stylist.
Yeah. I always say, I don't say that it's easy, but I do say it's simple, because I do think it is very simple, especially compared to previous companies I worked for.
Right. And then this class also touches on it being duplicable, just like we keep hearing everywhere.
Yeah. Paula, were you going to say something?
Yeah, I did want to share. I hopped on a little late, but I just want to share something that kind of lit a fire under my butt. Right at the end, Melissa, she mentioned starting every day like if you were a brand new stylist. And when she said that, something inside of me clicked. Like I had already, like I went to conference knowing that I had to make some changes in my group and in my, just in the way that I am a leader for my team. I've had a lot of girls drop off, and my team is not what it used to be. And so I kind of had a sense I wanted to work on myself instead of focusing on like how to recruit. I wanted to focus on how to be a leader, because I figure I need to prepare myself to be able to help people coming in, right? I need to know what to say and how to help them. And so when Melissa said that, like treat every day like if you were a brand new stylist, I was just kind of like, it was like mind blowing, because I was like, I remember the first day that I got my kit. I got my kit. I signed up when they were like way behind on the kits. So I got it like 2 weeks later. And I remember almost 3 weeks. And I remember that excitement, feeling excited to just open up that box and to share. I hadn't even tried the product, but I knew that it was something that was just perfect for what I am, for where I am in life, with so many kids and being a stay-at-home mom and not having time to go to the salon. And so I just thought, I remember that excitement, and I felt like You know, she hit the nail on the head when she said that it was like every day has to be that same excitement, that same passion for the product, for the company, you know, just like you're a brand new stylist, opening up your kit every single day, because that's what's going to drive you, you know, to reach those goals, and to share the products with everyone, and to share the amazingness of the company. Like, I think we were all blown away by just how amazing conference was. I feel like it flew by so quickly that I wanted more. Like, I was like, what? That's it? It's over? Like, can we just do all Sunday? Like, can we keep going?
Yeah, for sure.
And I think a lot of us felt that same way, but I feel like, you know, that just that small phrase, you know, start every day brand new. Like, if you're a new stylist, like that was probably one of the most, you know, impactful things of the conference. And I just wanted to share that, you know, so that's, I'm like, I'm going to hit the ground running. Like, I'm a new stylist every day. So I thought that I just wanted to share that.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much, because sometimes we just kind of lose that passion that we had at first, or even that sense of like urgency to like really like hit the ground running, you know? I know for me, I was like, okay, it's on, like, let's do this. I wanted to run, like, I ran with it. And sometimes we can get into like coasting mode. And one thing Melissa said at the presidential retreat that always stood out to me is she said, there's no such thing as coasting. Like, you're either moving forward or you're moving back. It's like uphill. It's not this. It's like this. Are you moving uphill, or are you moving downhill? You know,
yeah, you just on a level plane. I know there's a meme that I came across a really long time ago, and it says, if you're not growing, you're dying. You know, like that's like plants. If they're not growing, they're dying.
yes.
So what do you want to do? Do you want to grow, or do you want to just die? You know, you got to keep going up.
Yes,
So.
I love that. Anyone else want to share a takeaway?
I do have a question.
Wait, who has a question?
I do.
Yes.
How, when you guys first started, because I'm new to this, when you guys first started, how did you overcome that fear of Facebook Live? Like, when you do your Facebook parties? Because I think that's one thing I struggle with. I get tongue-tied, I get nervous, and then it's almost like I begin to shut down. And it's hard to just get out there and do it and not become a robot. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I'll share. A couple of people are commenting and saying, just do it. And then another, practice. And both those answers are true. Like, if you'll have to read the 5-second rule, Christine, or watch at least some of Mel Robbins' YouTube videos about the 5-second rule. But it does get easier, because I still get scared when I go live, but I have to almost like just dare myself to do it. I have to be like, all right, we're doing this. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm clicking record. It's happening. But we also have a practice going live Facebook group that you can practice in there, or you can make your own. I have a group that is just my very own. Only my husband is in it, and I just go live and practice. If I'm not sure like about the technology or whatever, I'll go live and practice, or if I want to get a lighting right, or you know what I mean? And then I feel more comfortable about actually going live at, you know, for real. So that kind of helps me to have like a practice round. I know one of my personally enrolled stylists, she said one thing that helped her was to just, at first, she would just record the video on her phone and then just upload it. So you can start with that baby step. And then maybe the next baby step is practicing in a group. And then maybe the next baby step is actually going live, maybe just for 1 minute. And then maybe the next one is 2 minutes and 3. You know, I would just like kind of start with baby steps, and it's going to get easier. Like, in my Facebook memories, it showed one of my very first live videos ever from a few years ago. And it is comical how bad it is. So it gets easy. It really does get easier with practice. But Sam said, I always psych myself up before I do it with a lot of Beyonce music. So there you go.
Thank you.
I did the same thing, Kelly. You had suggested to me, and I created my own group. And so that's what I do. And because I'm horrible about going live, because I get all red and I get all flushed, so I'm forcing myself. And I told you at conference I had ordered a and I had posted in Team Nailed It asking what ladies do for going live and what subscription boxes they get. And I ordered a Universal Yums subscription box that comes monthly. And so I got it in the mail yesterday, and I'm doing a Tasty Tuesday every day on my personal page, and I am forcing myself to do that. And so I opened 2 of the 7 treats yesterday and did a live and tasted them, but I practiced it twice, recorded it twice, and practiced it twice in my little personal private group, so that I could feel comfortable and not stumble on my words, because I get nervous and then I stumble on my words too.
Yes, that's a great. Well, and don't you think it helps to Kim to have like that trigger? Kim and I were talking about this actually at conference. Like for me, I'm such a word nerd, and I do my Try It Tuesdays on my personal wall and like on YouTube. And having that trigger of, oh crap, it's Tuesday, I need to go live. Having that same, you know, sort of like a series, doing a series, it kind of forces you to be even more accountable. So choosing that. And then, shoot, I had another thought, but I forgot it. Oh, I was going to say, putting Post-it notes by either your computer or your phone of bullet points of what you're going to say.
Yes, I have a piece of paper with a few things, because there was something that was in French, and so I Google translated how to pronounce it, so that, because it's been forever since I've taken French or spoken it, and so I did. So I had all my stuff done that I could glance down and look at if I needed to. So it went pretty well.
That's awesome. And people are commenting and saying, wine helps. All right, we have time for like one more takeaway. So does anyone else have a takeaway, that one last takeaway they want to share with us before we wrap things up? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I want to say I am really glad that you are completely ethical in what you teach us, because I did meet a lot of other team people on other teams that, one, they don't have the resources we have, but they are doing things that we're not supposed to be doing. And I was like, oh, you can't do this and that. And I'm new, but I'm pretty sure you can't do that. And they're like, oh, it's okay, my upline people do it. And it was like, I was blessed and thankful that I'm getting the right training, and I appreciate that.
Thank you for saying that. And thank you everyone for hopping on. I always love chatting with you guys. I learned so much from you. And it was so fun to meet so many of you guys. And if you weren't able to come, guys, seriously, get out that money jar and start putting your extra change in there so that you can come next year, because it really is life-changing. And when we're done with this, get a Post-it note and write down like your 5 things, or make a Google Doc. That's what I did. Make a Google Doc of what you and really visualize. I just did a post about visualizing I literally visualized, I want to wear a red dress with leopard heels and walk across that stage. And I did. So you guys, getting really specific with what you want to happen next year, and even what you're going to wear when you walk across that stage, or how many ribbons you're going to have, get really specific, and how many team members are going to be there, all that stuff, so that you can crush your goals this year and have something to work towards for this whole year. So anyway, thanks everyone for taking the time to join us, and we'll see you next week. Bye.